You're in a meeting, a question is directed at you, but you don't have all the information. Sounds familiar? It happens to the best of us. It's the unseen dilemma, a universal predicament, a shared experience that unites us all in the professional realm. It's like a pop quiz in a language you only half understand. You feel cornered, exposed. It's a common situation, but it's how we handle it that truly matters. But here's the mistake most people make: they bluff their way through. Bluffing or pretending to know it all. It's a path many choose, but it's a dangerous game to play. You see, when we bluff, we put our credibility on the line. We all know that trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. So why risk it? This common misstep arises from a misconception that admitting ignorance is a sign of weakness. But here's the deal: it's not. In fact, it shows humility, a trait highly valued in any work environment. It's important to remember that no one expects you to have all the answers all the time. Faking knowledge can lead to incorrect decisions, misguided strategies, and ultimately a loss of respect from your colleagues. It's like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded. You're bound to hit a dead end sooner or later. So if bluffing is not the answer, then what is? Stick around, we're about to dive into that. Active inquiry, ever heard of it? It's your lifeline when you're in the deep end without all the facts. Now let's dive into this concept a bit more. Active inquiry is a process where you actively seek out information to fill in the gaps in your understanding. It's like being a detective, piecing together fragments to solve a mystery. So how does it work? First, identify what information you are missing. This might be as simple as recognizing that you don't know how a process works, or as complex as realizing you don't understand a colleague's perspective on an issue. Next, formulate your questions. Make sure they are open-ended, giving room for detailed answers. Instead of asking, "Do you agree with this approach?" Try, "Can you share your thoughts on this approach?" Then it's time to seek out your answers. This could be through research, asking colleagues, or even scheduling a meeting with a manager or expert within your field. Remember, there's no such thing as a silly question. And finally, reflect on what you've learned. How does this new information change your understanding of the situation? How can it be applied in your work? Consider a project manager who realizes she doesn't fully understand the new software her team is using. By identifying her knowledge gap, asking her team for insights, and reflecting on their responses, she's able to lead more effectively. And the best part? It's not only about survival, it's about growth. Now you might be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, quite a lot actually. Engaging in active inquiry isn't just about getting by when you're out of your depth. It's about diving deeper and coming up with pearls of wisdom that you might not have found otherwise. The first benefit is understanding. And by asking questions, you push past surface level information and get to the heart of the matter. You start seeing patterns, connections, and nuances that you might have missed. Secondly, it improves relationships. You show that you value others' perspectives and are open to learning from them. This builds trust and fosters collaboration, making your workplace a more harmonious and productive environment. Finally, it fosters personal growth. Every question you ask, every answer you receive adds to your knowledge and skills. It makes you a more effective problem solver and a more valuable asset to your team. So, next time you find yourself in the deep end, remember active inquiry. It's not about having all the answers, but asking the right questions. Before we wrap up, we want you to take a moment to reflect. Think back to a situation where you were left in the dark, not knowing all the facts. Could active inquiry have made a difference? Maybe it was a project that went off course, a miscommunication with a colleague, or simply a puzzling task. Picture yourself in that situation, now armed with the tool of active inquiry. Imagine the room for growth and the potential for improved outcomes with this technique in your tool belt. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Have you used active inquiry before, or perhaps you're excited to try it out? Your insights can inspire others and foster a sense of community. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe for more practical insights. Remember, knowledge is power, but asking the right questions is the key.